this goes back like 10 years ago, I think. I haven't really spoken about this because we're just mates and I don't like to really speak about it, but...
This was recorded at the Media Joint.
That is so rogue.
Boy, that's a bit rogue.
Is it even that rogue?
Welcome back to another episode of A Bit Rogue. Today in the studio I have Tom J. Williams, an Aussie singer.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you doing?
You said this is your first podcast
I'm shaking.
ever or in a while?
You know what? No, it's actually my first podcast ever. So
my God,
you're taking my virginity.
Yeah, full pop in
I'm
that.
excited.
Sorry. So you were according to Google, youngest,
Always factual.
always factual, youngest top 10 finalist in the world for Idol.
True. Yes. Well, so good. Thanks to Google.
2008. So how old were you?
I was like 16 and 2 days, I think. I remember like, because the cutoff back then was 16. You had to be 16.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was the first year that I was going to be able to do it and be 16. And it was like 16 in 2 days. I got my license on the day, like my L's on the day of my birthday. And then 2 days later I did Idol.
What was that even like? So they just like go to every cap city. Do you have to buy a ticket? Like, how does that work? Or how did it work?
You know what? It's so interesting. And I've had friends do these shows recently and it's just a completely different process.
And they don't do it the same.
Yeah, they make it look the same. But when I did it, it was like legit. I lined up with like 10,000 people at the
Did you
Adelaide.
have like camp?
I didn't, but only because like I didn't tell my parents or anything I was going to do it.
Ooh, naughty.
I was too scared that I was going to like not do it right or fuck up. So I was like, I'm not going to really.
Did you have strict parents?
They weren't strict at all. They were really supportive. I just didn't want to let them down.
Oh,
so I just
okay.
kind of held back.
Yeah.
But I was so naive and into like how long the process was, I guess. Like, so I waited there for like, it was like a 7-hour process.
Jesus.
And that's what they film with like all the people outside.
Yeah.
But they're just producers inside. So not just, but, so you go and sing for like 3 people. And if you get through that, then you do
just do it for the
No, you
judges?
do another level of producers.
Oh.
And then once you get through that, it's like a week later, I think. And they put us all on a bus and there was about 100 of us that went to the filming for the TV show.
So the producers pick the people that can't sing as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember talking to this one girl. She was wearing like a candy outfit and was like, this can't be legit. And I spoke to her. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I'm an actor. They pay me to be here. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, I'm sorry, you were in 2008. Your
Yeah.
NDA is done.
Yeah, I think it's well expired by now. Yes.
Wow, okay, interesting. So then
It's a
from
process.
Idol, who won Idol your year?
Where's Car?
I don't even remember.
It was a long time ago.
Unless it's Skye Sydenham, I don't know.
We love Guy.
Out of Idol, formed at Sunset.
Kind of, yeah. So out of Idol, I actually signed to Sony for the first time. And Solo. And I had crazy blue hair and it was this like short stack-esque kind of solo project. It was...
Also, shout out to Sean, because Sean has said so many times he's going to come on, but his real estate career is actually popping off.
Love
and then
Sean.
he keeps getting busy.
Sean is the dude.
But he will come on.
Sean is the dude. Yeah, so I did that and it was kind of... I did a tour all around Australia. It was like in Sanity's. Do you remember Sanity? The music store shop?
Yes.
Yeah, in like Westfield.
I had to go in there once because I was dancing and I told my mum that I had to have the CD and it only was sold at Sanity.
Yeah, right.
And that's my only memory. And the music was too loud for me, so I was like in kindy.
Yeah. I think they don't exist anymore, right?
No,
they're
they
gone.
closed down,
They're
yeah.
gone. But I was that guy that was like singing in the in-store shops and we were in a car literally and we drove all around Australia to promote this single. It was called
wow.
LOL. Oh my God. It was
Who else has a song called LOL?
quite an experience.
Miley?
She was in a movie called LOL.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think. And there's a drink. I don't know. But for the next like 3 years, people were just like, LOL, LOL. Like, haha, funny. So that was great. Did that. Moving right along from that. And then it was probably about 3 years after that, that the band at Sunset actually already existed. And they had 3 members.
Oh, so you were replaced someone.
Yeah, I was replacing somebody. There was some issues and
Yeah.
so they had to get rid of a member. And I came in and they were like literally 8 weeks from an American tour.
Oh, shit.
I'd never played an electric guitar in my life.
Oh.
And they were like, "You're now the guitarist of At Sunset." I'm like, "Oh, sick." I played acoustic, but very different instruments. And 8 weeks later, I was touring in the States. We did Zach Sang show. We did it was absolutely insane.
Memories.
Yeah, and they're good ones.
That's good.
They are good. They weren't
So
at the time.
you guys did that 2016 to 2018?
You're good, yeah.
Yeah, dull.
Research.
I was fixated on this. So
Research.
then after that, you were in a different band called Darling Brando.
Darling Brando, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was not too long ago. We formed that from the ground up.
What year did you start that?
That would have been like 2020, I reckon, or just
okay,
around
like
about
kind
then.
of recent.
Yeah, it was really recent. It was just when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we put that together and worked really hard. We did showcases for this is like a big misconception with that band, is that, they were an industry plant, or they were, this and that. Like we did showcases for every label in the country and out of the country. We worked really bloody hard on that. From the external, it looked pieced together, but it really wasn't. Just because it's 4 dudes, jumping around on a stage with cool hair doesn't mean that it's, made.
Do you feel like the lockdowns and COVID had a huge impact on you guys staying together?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hindered the success of the band. We were set to do some really cool things, and then COVID hit. We did all our interviews we all lived together actually in my house, in my apartment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Working and living together is pretty gnarly.
We were all bros, like most of us. So it was like...
how many was you? 4?
Good English.
Was you?
How many was
you?
you?
How many of you were there?
There was 4 originally. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to... Yeah, there was 4 originally. And then one of the members left, and there was 3.
Okay, 3 is manageable. Like if there was like a whole army of you, like 5 or 6, and
yeah,
that's
like
a bit much.
These stray kids, there's like 14 of them, right? I was like, oh my God. They just kept introducing themselves last night in Sydney. I'm like, wow, there was literally 12 or 13 of these boy bands members in Stray Kids. Anyway.
Was this at South by Southwest? Because I keep seeing them and I'm like, are you guys in the same band?
Yeah,
or like,
there's so many of them. And
so
2 of them are
many.
from Australia. It's crazy. Yeah, it was, we were brothers first. We knew each other for a long time. Vlado and I were friends for multiple years beforehand. We met when he was filming X Factor.
Okay.
I'm friends with Adam, so I was hanging out backstage. He was the judge, and that's how I met Vlado actually.
Right. Yeah. Okay. The connects. So you went quiet for some time, like social media, music, everything.
Yeah.
Was that after you guys split?
It was a difficult time, I think. I'd worked so hard to get where we were. I think it was just really disappointing that it fell apart the way it did. I think it was one of those things that was unattainable to move forward for me. So I had to kind of distance myself from that.
Was that because you felt like you'd gone so long in a group, both the bands, then being on your own, it was kind of like starting again?
I was just in a bit of shock, to be honest. There were some allegations against one of the members that came up. And it just got it was really a rough time on the internet, even though it had really nothing to do with me, and I stepped aside and I don't agree with any of that shit. It was still really hard, and people still came at me, and I was like, fuck this.
Internet's a scary place.
I'm going to get off the internet for a bit. Yeah, I'd shared my life on the net for so long.
Yeah,
that I was
from 16 is a long time to be in the public eye.
It was ridiculous. So I'm like just enjoying some space and some time, and that was definitely part of the reason for the blackout. But, mental health as well, I think.
Should always prioritize it.
Yeah, absolutely. Props to Sony. I had a psychologist that they provided me, and I was...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah, they're really good. We had a great team at Sony, and I really appreciate, what they did for us. But they were definitely mental health first for me. The other boys were kind of chill, which is really funny because I was the one that had done stuff previously. These guys were kind of new to it.
Yeah.
But I think, it was tough. I found it really tough.
In your break, did you get time to kind of reflect on, the fact that you started when you were 16, so you've essentially been working extremely hard for, let's say 15 years.
Yeah.
That's a really long time to be go, go, go. Did you get time to reflect and be like, wow, like I could have turned out a different way? Or I feel like you, do you feel like it changed you at all?
I think, yeah, I mean, who knows where I would end up if it all started with Idol. So if I didn't do Idol, I don't know where I'd be. People say, what would you do if you weren't doing music? I don't know. I really didn't.
You always wanted
I've
to
never
be in
done
music.
anything else. And I was so young. I was in year 10 when I did Idol. The thing that people don't know about it is that I had to do school 5 hours a day. So whilst the other contestants were, rehearsing more and going out and getting to know each other and doing press, I was locked in a room with a teacher.
That is
5 hours a day.
crazy, like a homeschool teacher.
Yeah. I had to continue my schooling. And that wasn't a choice. That was, if I was to do it, that's what had to happen.
Wow.
That's what Idol said, which is, again, a good responsibility thing for them.
Yeah, it is a good look for them, but then you're doing double time.
Yeah. I remember pulling a sickie once, and because I just didn't want to do it.
That's fair.
I'm sick, and then a couple of the guys dobbed me in, and I had to go back in. It was so dog. But it was fierce. It was fierce competition.
Yeah.
It was.
Do you know what you remind me of? Like,
Tell me what I remind you of.
Like my Dolly Girl days, my girlfriend days. Were you ever in Dolly Girl?
I was, yeah.
Shut the fuck
I've done
up.
both.
Really?
Yeah.
What about a poster?
Done them, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need to find.
You'll be able to find them somewhere.
So one thing that has come up is obviously your friendship with Adam Lambert. That's from
Cool
Idol?
Dude. No, I've just always loved him.
Yeah.
This goes back 10 years ago, I think. I haven't really spoken about this because we're just mates and I don't like to really speak about it. But
Okay, but you've been spotted.
yeah, he's cool. I've known him for about 10 years. It was the day I got verified on Twitter back in the day. I remember getting verified. I was like, I'm going to message. I'd just come out of the Sony office and they'd given me the new Adam Lambert CD and I was playing it in my car. I'm like, this is sick. And I found an album track. I was like, I really like this. So I tweeted him because back in the day when you were verified, people saw it straight away. There was verified mentions.
Oh.
Which is kind of...
Well, thank fuck they don't do that on Instagram because everyone's bloody verified now.
Yeah, I know. It's insane, right? It just kind of defeats the purpose. I hate it. I went on a rant on X the other day to Elon Musk. I'm like, yo, this is just dangerous now because anyone can just get ticks and, you're not really protecting the people that need to be protected, which is why the tick came out in the first place.
Literally.
Yeah, so I met him through that. He replied and was like, thank you so much to my tweet, which he got because of the verified tweet. And we just... Yeah, we became friends through that, and then our touring schedules just lined up.
In the US?
In London and through Asia and in the US, yeah.
Cool.
So we were just I was going to all his shows, and
That's a pretty good person to buddy up with.
Yeah, he's mad. He's the coolest dude ever. So much respect for him, and he's just so down to earth. Yeah, he's really cool.
Has he been kind of like a mentor at all, or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's cool. He, I get to play my music, and he shares his opinions and stuff. He's a mad dog. He's so down to earth. He's really cool.
Tell him to come on a bit, Ro.
I shall. I think he's in the country right now. So.
Ooh. So are you going to release any more music? Are you going to start working on music? What's the 411? Tell us.
I am. I've been recording for a little bit now. I've been keeping it under wraps, but I'm working on stuff. I'm really excited.
That's cool.
I've been doing some writing. I've written with Ray Thistlethwaite from Thirsty Merc.
Ooh, we love Thirsty Merc.
Writing with the Hot Shell Ray boys out of the States. It's cool. I'm really liking the angle and the direction of the music, and I think I needed to take the time off to really find what I wanted to do again.
Yeah. But I also feel like as you grow up as well, your taste and style is always ever changing as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to kind of fit into the trends though of what people are listening to?
I never have, whether it be looks, music, anything. I've never really conformed to that. I remember wearing skinny jeans on Australian Idol and everyone was calling me derogatory names at school when I came back for wearing skinny jeans. I'm like, what? And then the next year everyone was wearing skinny jeans.
Am I allowed to know what the derogative names are?
I know, it's call me faggot and stuff.
Ooh, that's mean.
It was really mean, especially back in 2008.
Yeah.
I was quite hectically bullied after Idol.
Shut up.
A couple of the teachers at my high school got suspended.
Your teachers?
Yeah. It was really quite a awful time.
The teachers were saying stuff.
Teachers were bullying me in front of the class.
What the actual fuckery? Do you know what I've noticed? Like,
I like that
now-
word.
Fuckery.
Fucker-
What the fuckery
What
is that?
the fuckery?
You know, like after school, I look back and I'm like, you shouldn't have been a teacher. And they were like authority. But I look back and I'm like, you actually should be studied at, like, are you a pedo or not? Especially like the
Some
people in
people.
PDHP. Why are you friends with the students?
Exactly, 100%. Well, this teacher is one of the kids' parents from the high school.
Oh
as
my
well. So
God.
it was quite.
They
gross.
should be bullied. Why are you going to the same school as your parents? Like, freak.
You're funny.
So you were just saying before that you have like a home studio as well. How do you kind of switch off from work if you're using home studio, and then because like I literally will work from home and then I'm like, cool, I'm gonna be up till 3 a.m.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's about finding a balance, hey. If I only do it when I feel happy and want to do it.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that with music. I've always had a rule, I guess, for myself that if I'm not feeling it or I don't want to do it, then I won't force myself to do it.
That's a good
Like,
boundary.
I don't
to
give a
have.
shit if I'm writing with, you know, massive anybody. Like, if I'm not feeling it, there's no point forcing it because you're just going to write shit.
Interesting. So we need to move on to the headlines.
Oh,
So sad one. Liam Payne passed away.
horrible.
One Direction. I think it really hit the fans because they were expecting a what do you call it when they come back together?
Reunion. Did you go out last night?
No, I didn't. This is just
No?
me.
Hey, love it.
So yeah, they were meant to have a reunion, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Seeing an artist pass away that had a very similar journey to you, so was on a TV show, was then in a band, the band broke up, then he went somewhat solo. I don't think he really released any music.
Yeah.
How does that affect you as an artist seeing that? Does it affect your mental health, or does it just, you know, is it more of an eye-opener about what's going on in your industry?
I've never met Liam. I'll start by saying that. I could see from the outside that he was struggling. One part about this story that is really sad and hits kind of close to home is the bullying, the online bullying. I think we know now that he didn't jump, but he wasn't in a great spot.
No.
His mental health was absolutely torn to shreds. He was good at masking, I think.
I think a lot of people in the public eye are good at masking.
Absolutely. And it's just so sad. It was horrific for me.
Yeah.
And obviously not having been through any of the experiences that he's done, the only similarity probably is the boy band thing. Like, even at the level I did it at, I can tell you that it is quite strenuous and quite draining, and I can only imagine what those boys went through. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's very intense. Well, I
It's
think the
super
most
sad.
intense thing that's come out is obviously there were substances in his system, but my thing was with his partners then found out that he was obviously with escorts, and that made me go down a rabbit hole of what did people find out after their loved ones passed away. So I'm about to read you one, and you need to let me know what your thoughts are.
Okay.
So this is Rory from Iowa.
Okay.
When my father died, my siblings and I finally uncovered all the things our father hid from us whilst he was alive. The first thing that surfaced, that he had a second wife in Africa.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, whom he left his life insurance policy to. She was younger than me and around my sister's age. He had signed the policy over a few months before he passed away by tricking his cousin into signing the paperwork that he falsely claimed he had something to do with a cancer treatment that he was doing. My stepmom was left with the retirement money through the military. He must have been in the military. And then us kids were left with nothing.
Far out.
The next thing we learnt was he had been arrested for soliciting... Wait, what? Why did I read it like that? He was arrested for...
Creative control. You've got this.
How do you say that?
Soliciting.
Soliciting.
Thanks, darling. He was arrested for soliciting a prostitute in 2016. As a result of the charge, he was evaluated by a psychiatrist and was diagnosed as a sex addict and a
Far out.
narcissist.
Oh my God.
So imagine your dad,
That's so
like
full on.
passes away, and then you find out that he pretty much gives all his money to a random chick in Africa, and he also is like a diagnosed narcissist
wow.
and sex addict.
Yeah, man. What do you say to that?
No, that is so gnarly.
That's so fucked
I
up,
think the
really.
worst thing about these situations is like when people find out that their like partners or whatever have like mistresses or affairs is one, how do you grieve someone that's, you know, done you dirty like
Yeah,
that?
totally.
Like what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, what do you do?
And then
Well-
imagine if you are the side person, you don't know that they are married. Do you go to the funeral?
I'm an empath, so yeah, I would anyway.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's a hard one. Hey, like,
It's pretty gnarly.
yeah, I don't know. That's so fucked up. I don't even know how to react to that.
That is so fucked
Like,
up. I mean, you
are we allowed
could
to
go
swear on
pay a... It's got a bit rogue.
Oh,
Everyone
true.
says this. Come on, Joe.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. I guess you could just
That's
pay
messed.
respects after.
Yeah.
Because then it's like weird, you rocking up and then like their family know and then the partner's family know and then you're just like this weird awkward person.
Yeah. I also know that like a lot of celebrities do just hire escorts to hang out because they don't have any friends in the
Friends.
cities. Yeah. I know that Justin was in Melbourne once and had like 40 models hired from a modeling agency.
See, that's a thin line because I know that, but he actually used like one of our biggest agencies. I think it was like IMG.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Are you an escort? Are you still a model?
It depends what the job description is, doesn't it, really?
I guess if there's no saki, maybe it's not an escort. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's their business, right?
No face, no case, baby. You guys do what you need to do. Now, do you have a rogue moment you can share on air,
God.
even though manager Adam's sitting in the green room? Adam.
Adam. Hello, this is your father. Oh man, there's so many. I can hear, hello. Oh man, yeah, there's so many, and I've been racking my brain because I knew you'd ask this question. I was like, what do I say? I wouldn't say it's rogue, but I'll tell you a story.
Tell me a story, Joel.
So I was in Los Angeles with my first band at Sunset, doing a tour. I think it was the third time.
How old are you, by the way, at this point?
I would have been about 22.
Stunning.
24.
Perfect time for partying.
Yeah, it was quite a fun time. Yeah, that's a story for another time, but America was fun. But this one time we were actually up there. We were doing a deal with a company called Magcom. Do you know like Cameron Dallas, Nash Greer, Tana Mojo?
Yes.
Like that gang. So they were actually, Magcom, the company, were going to sign our band onto their roster.
Oh, God, would you had to have lived in a house with Tanner?
I love Tana, so it wouldn't have been a problem.
No, you two in the same house at ADHD.
Oh yeah, she's crazy.
That's gay.
Yeah, well we ended up touring again in like 2018 together through
really?
Australia. Yeah, we did the Amplify tour.
Oh my
that was
God,
like
that's actually so cool.
Jack and
Lucky I
Jack
didn't
and-
start fucking rinsing her.
No, she's cool. But yeah, so we were in America to do that deal, and I remember Cameron like calling up our management, like, quick, you got to come to the house, because they were at this point all living in a house. And they're like, we got to go to Leo's house. And we just like we're like, cool, whatever. Little did we know that we're going to Leonardo DiCaprio's house.
Ooh, because you were of age for him, under 21. I mean, under 25.
You're good at this job, aren't you?
Thank you.
Yeah, so we ended up going down there, and I was like talking to them. I'm like, it's got to be like, it's one of his houses. Hey, like just whatever. No, it's his actual house with like his like T-Rex skeletons and, you know, everything in there.
Out the front or inside the house?
No, it was inside. So we rocked up, and Lucas Haas, who's his best mate that lives with him, answered the door in a robe with a cigar. He's like, what's going on? I was like, this is cool. And the first thing I saw when we walked into the house, it was Marlon Brando's Oscar. So when Marlon passed away, the Academy gifted Leo this Oscar
That's so
or
random.
the family or something. So it's sitting right on as you walk in. And I remember just taking a photo holding the Oscar. So that's where the name for our band, Darling Brando, came from.
Right.
Because I'd held Marlon Brando's Oscar, so that kind of was, a word play on that. But this was just the most insane thing ever. So it was like, I remember like Spider-Man was in the pool, like Tobey Maguire, and there was just like escorts walking around everywhere.
Tobey Maguire was in the pool, or was it a statue?
No, it was him.
Hot.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I would
And it was
love
just,
to see him in a pool.
it was crazy. And then, there was like lots of paid women walking around, and this.
Are they paid though? Like, I would literally do that for free. I would pay to
I tried to go to the
that.
bathroom, and they tried to follow me in kind of vibes, like, and I was 22. I guess I was fine, but
I would have been like, yeah, come.
and then this one lady was like, "Oh, I've got a gimp in the car." I was like, "Oh, really?
Shut the
Whatever."
literal fuck up.
Dead set. And then we thought nothing of it. We
That's
were there.
kinda scary.
We were there for like 5 hours, and then
You could have gotten kidnapped. And
on the way
murdered.
out, she opened the boot, and there was a fucking gimp in the boot.
Oh my god.
Promised, swear to God. She opened the boot, and this like guy got out in like latex with like a ball gag on. I was like,
I believe that.
you should, because it's very true.
No,
Yeah.
I believe that because I've
Seriously,
also spent time
so
in LA.
intense.
It's weird when you're that age, you're like, your frontal lobe's still developing, and then you go
Yeah.
to LA and you see all this shit, and you're like, is this real life?
It
But you know what
definitely
needs to
felt
be
like that.
studied? Why is there a dinosaur in the house?
Well, there was a lot more than that. It was insane. So he had this massive empty bookshelf. I'm like, what's in that? He goes, oh, the government just confiscated the fossil collection to put in the museums. So we had all of these fossils like confiscated by the FBI that were
Oh my
illegal
God.
fossils that went to the went back to the museum. But yeah, just a T-Rex skeleton like just sitting in his lounge room. Like,
I just
Cool.
took
As
my
you-
son to the Dino Alive exhibition, and I was
how did that go?
fucking
I want to
terrified.
go to that.
I hated it.
Did ya?
And even he was
Why'd you
scared.
hate
So I
it?
was like, why the fuck are we here? I'm so scared right now.
We're both not enjoying this.
They were
Why?
moving, they were life size, and they had very big loud noise. Now, every guest gets a game.
Oh gosh.
This is going to be not easy, but I
Okay.
thought, you know what? 2008 was the year of the debut. So let's go back.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some trivial questions
Oh,
because you were about
gosh.
to freaking ask me
Oh yeah, I've got one
about
for you
your
too.
VB. I've never, ever gotten a VB one right.
Really?
Never.
I get the Carlton Draft ones right, and I've got like a whole collection in a stein glass of them. So when I have people over and we get drunk, I just like pull them out and trivia.
So like growing up, let's say like upper middle class bogan, there
Love
was a
it.
lot of bottle caps
Yeah,
around
yeah.
from a young age. So like with confidence, I won't get it right. But
I don't know if I'd get this one right either. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Will you say? Because now I'm nosy.
Okay. World record 786 Australians skinny dipped together in 2015. That's not even a question.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Okay, I fucked up. Maybe Carlton Draft has the questions and VB has state. I don't know.
Why would they do that? That's what tampons do.
You read it and tell me if I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
No, they're literally telling you the world record.
That's weird.
786 Australians skinny dipped together. That's nice. 2015. That wasn't that long ago.
There you go. Were you there?
Well, I was 18, so potentially, without knowing. Well,
Right.
my first question for you is, who was the Prime Minister in 2008?
Fuck. Can't tell you who the Prime Minister is now.
I could not tell you who the Prime Minister is right
It
now,
changes
but I
so much in
know who
Australia.
is in 2008 because of their campaign.
Oh, it's not K-Rod, is it?
It is.
Oh, but
Because
Kevin
Kevin
07.
07, yeah,
And then the
continuing-
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes. I was going to say John Howard, so I'm glad you prompted me there.
Something happened in your hometown to do with the weather. What was it? So in Adelaide, big monumental with the weather.
Dude, every day in Adelaide, it's like the hottest day in 30 years or the coldest day in fucking 27 years. It's like there's always a record. Oh, man, I don't know.
Well, you kind of got it right.
Was it the hottest day since, I don't know.
There was a heat wave. It was the hottest day for 14 days straight.
I'll take that win.
It's very cool.
I think that's a tick.
What was officially released in Australia in 2008?
That's a broad question.
I know,
What was,
but it's like it's a pretty big deal in the world of technology.
was it the iPhone?
Yeah. Why? Not just the pretty
Got this.
fuss.
You've got
Well,
this.
thank you
There you
so
go.
much for letting me pop your
Thank you.
podcast cherry.
Thank you. I feel
enjoyed
very
it.
comfy. Thank you.
Yay!
Thanks for listening to A Bit Rogue, where we uncover the stories of athletes, artists, and celebrities with their most rogue moments. Episodes dropping every Wednesday.